Corporal Amara Osei stood before the gravity-augmented training pod like it was nothing more than oversized gym equipment. Around her, the vast arena of Titan's Gate, the Consortium War College, built on a crushing high-gravity world, fell into murmuring disbelief. Hundreds of alien cadets crowded the balconies, eager to watch a human fail. Humans were newcomers to the Consortium, fragile in appearance, primitive in technology, and widely assumed to be physically inferior. Amara had heard it all before. She grew up in Lagos, carrying water containers up 6 flights of stairs after the infrastructure collapse, then working construction before she was old enough to vote. Earth had forged her long before the galaxy took notice. Now she was one of only 3 human exchange cadets on a world where even walking felt like dragging chains. Yet she was here, chosen for a challenge meant to expose human weakness. The gravity pod, a 3-meter cylindrical monster of alloy and artificial mass, was legendary. It pushed gravity upward, testing lift capacity until bones snapped or courage did. The record belonged to instructor Vorn, a towering Krev warrior who had managed a partial lift at 2.1 g. For the Krev, that feat was the stuff of war songs. For humans, Amara thought, it was Tuesday. Vorn stepped forward, his mandibles curling into disdain. Humans boast easily. Machines do not care for boasting. Lift the pod, cadet. A hush fell. Amara approached wearing standard gear, no exosuit, no enhancement. The alien cadets snickered. She was small by their standards, lacking the bulging armor-like plates of the Krev or the long, knotted limbs of the Therians. What they didn't grasp was simple. Earth is a quiet monster. Every human muscle fiber had been shaped by a full G of relentless weight. Every movement was resistance training. Strength wasn't extraordinary on Earth. It was survival. The pod activated at 1 G. Amara gripped the handles and lifted smoothly. No reaction from the crowd. Every species could manage baseline gravity. 1.5 G, Vorn ordered. She held, no strain. 2 G. A ripple of surprise moved through the arena. Species began to fail here, bones compressing, muscles seizing. Amara simply shifted her stance. At 2.1 G, matching Vorn's record, silence swept the room. Amara remained steady. 2.5 G, Vorn snarled, trying to mask his unease. Still she held. A memory flickered, her grandmother watching her haul water up endless stairs. Strength isn't muscle, child. Strength is refusing to put the burden down. 3 G, Vorn ordered, though even he hesitated. The force would cripple most species. Amara exhaled once calmly. Then she did the impossible. She released one hand. A gasp broke from the balconies. With a single arm, Amara lifted the pod higher, her muscles hardening like braided steel. Earth taught me better, she whispered. The arena froze. The instructor's crest flattened in disbelief. Scan her, Vorn shouted, furious. The medical officer obliged full biometric, full spectrum. No augmentation. No implants. No genetic engineering. Just baseline humanity, built on a world these aliens would classify as a torture chamber. The truth began to dawn. The lighter gravity species weren't weak, but humans were something else entirely, an apex species forged under pressure none of them could comprehend. Vorn, humiliated, pushed further. Reset the pod. 4 G. The operator protested. 4 G was dangerous. Vorn overruled. Amara stepped forward again. Not for Vorn, not for the crowd, but for every human who would come after her. She gripped the handles. At 4 G, the air itself felt heavier. Cadets nearby struggled to breathe. Amara lifted, slowly, painfully, muscles trembling. But she lifted. Centimeter by centimeter, the pod rose until she locked her arms at full extension. The arena was paralyzed, no breath, no movement. Amara held for 3 long seconds. Then something primal tore free from her chest, a raw, ancestral roar. A sound that bypassed language and stabbed straight into instinct. Predators recognized it. Prey recognized it. The alien stepped backward. Amara lowered the pod carefully, refusing to drop it. Her voice was steady. "My planet's gravity is 1G. I've been training under heavy load since I learned to walk. You think this is strength?" She glanced at Vorn. "We evolved in conditions you use for punishment." Word rippled outward. Respect followed. Then fear. Medical scans showed only normal micro tears and bone density rated abnormally high by alien standards. Recovery time, minimal. Human physiology wasn't cheating physics, it was built for it. High Commander Thex reviewed the footage personally. His verdict reshaped military doctrine across the Consortium. Humans weren't fragile newcomers, they were heavy gravity specialists. Training protocols were rewritten. Gravity pod records now had 2 categories, standard and human. Weeks later, Amara led mixed-species squads in simulations, where her ability to carry equipment no one else could become tactical advantage. Months later, Vorn himself submitted a report that became mandatory reading. Human strength is not anomaly. It is adaptation. We misjudged them by assuming our gravity is universal. Their world demanded more of them than ours ever demanded of us. At the center of Titan's Gate, the gravity pod still stood. On it, a new plaque read, 4G Lift, Corporal Amara Osei, Earth. Cadets of every species paused when they saw it, reminded that the quiet blue world at the edge of the Consortium was not home to weak creatures. It was home to beings who grew strong simply by standing upright.